Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Mevo Live. I'm Joe Capehart, and today we are going to talk about the latest update, Mevo 2.6. And don't worry, it's not just me. I'm also joined by Joseph Pisani. He is a technical specialist here, and he is an audio engineer by trade. So he has all of the questions and answers ready for any audio questions you may have. For today's show, as I said, we're going to talk about 2.6, but for today's show, we are actually going to be using OBS. For my audio, I'm using a blue bottle microphone, and for my video, I am using a single Mevo start that is transmitting via NDI. For my audio, as I mentioned, this blue baby bottle is actually going into a mixer, going directly into the back of the Mevo start, and it's being sent into the 3.5 input, and the Mevo start's going to sync it automatically for me. As I said, I am joined by Joseph today, so welcome, Joseph. Tell us, what are you using for today's show?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Happy to be here. So for today's show, I'm actually using a single Mevo start, and I am connecting to my computer via the wireless webcam app. So right now, we actually just released, as part of our new updates that we're talking about today, there's actually a new release for the wireless webcam app as well. So the version I am on right now is 0.3.3. So if you are a wireless webcam user and you haven't updated yet, just click on the app tray and click check for updates, and it should pop up, or you should be notified automatically. But if you aren't yet, make sure you double check on that. So that's coming in wireless webcam into my computer, and then I'm hooked into this awesome setup with the Skype calls now, where we can actually send my NDI signal right back to your OBS system, which is really cool. So if I need to show anything, for example, if I want to use my Mevo graphics to maybe talk about the Mevo Start 3 pack today, I can actually absolutely throw that up directly from the Mevo, and I don't have to use OBS or anything like that. So that's a huge plus as far as with the type of connection that we have kind of going on right now. We're in different locations and we're using different methods to get to the feed.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of really cool stuff going on, being remote, using different audio sources, using different microphones. So there's just a lot of really cool stuff going. So as always, if you do have any questions, make sure you put those in the chat. We do have someone monitoring those and making sure that we get them, and we will do our best to answer those live today. So for today's show, as I said, we're going to be talking specifically about Mevo 2.6. I know on Tuesday's show, we'll cover that a little bit, and Mevo 2.6 brings a few different things. For that update, we've got the NDI5 compatibility for the Mevo Start, which has improved general performance. We also have webcam mode quick switch, which is it's probably my favorite feature of this update. And essentially, all it takes is the double tap of the power button to switch into wired webcam mode. And I want to go ahead and kind of demo what that looks like. Let me get this Mevo here on. But once your Mevo is actually powered on, it's literally as simple as pressing the power button 2 times, and you'll get a nice little cool, a little chime that you probably never heard before. So I'll demonstrate what it sounds like when you turn it on and turn it off, because there is a slight difference similar to powering on and off your Mevo. So now that my Mevo is powered on and it's on the same network, if I wanted to use wired webcam, all I have to do is double tap this power button here. I'm gonna put it next to my mic so you can hear it. And now it's enabled. Now, say you don't want to use wired webcam anymore and you want a quick way to disable it, you can do the same exact thing by double tapping once again, and you'll hear a similar chime. It's just slightly modified at the end. So that makes it a lot more easy, because basically up until this point, you've always had to open up the Mevo 2.0 app. You had to connect to your Mevo, which had to be on the same network. Wired webcam mode does not require that. You also had to go through steps of downloading the app, opening the app, connecting the Mevo, going to the general settings, scroll down, open up a menu, and then toggle it on. Now you no longer have to go through all of those extra steps, and you are good to go. So now what we want to do is we are going to go through some questions, hopefully. Joseph, if you have those up, go ahead and take those away.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Joe. So I'm just looking through our feed now, and it looks like we do have some chatter coming in on our YouTube page. Remember, if you're watching this, or if you're sharing this with anybody, we are on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch right now, live at Mevo Camera. So we got some people in YouTube shouting at us, just kind of chiming in and saying hi. So Dr. McFarland Studios says, howdy, fellas. Hello. We have Dennis saying hi from Belgium. awesome. Glad to hear that we're going global with these shows. It's always awesome. Mike Marquez is coming up. Mike, I'm going to get to your question in just a minute. I just want to say hi to everybody else here. So Randy saying hi. Providence TV saying hi from the Ivory Coast of West Africa. That's amazing. Thank you for joining us. Please let us know, from these, all you guys chiming in, let us know how you guys are using the Mevos. And please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. We'll get them answered today. Randy says, he says watching from Winnipeg, Canada. Fantastic. Let's go Jets. All right. So Mike is coming in and he says, I just wanted to say hi, also ask a question. Instead of putting an input into the back of the Mevo, can I use the Mevo mic app for direct audio and make the Mevo wireless instead? Yes, you can. So the way you would set this up, let me just read this properly here. Putting an input in the back of Mevo and using Mevo. So yeah, so if you're using the remote mic app, for those of you who aren't familiar, Mevo has an app where you can use an additional device as an audio source. Now you can actually hook up other sound sources to this device and send it that way as well. Depending on what device you're using, you might need some adapters. So if you have an Android phone that has a headphone jack, like not the one I have with me, you might need an iRig, something like this, to get the TRRS connection feed going from your mixer. Or if you have an iPhone, you might need a Lightning adapter to a 3.5 millimeter adapter. You can do it that way as well. But yes, you can absolutely send audio wirelessly that way using the remote app, Mevo mic app, excuse me. Cool. So nothing in Facebook right now, but thank you for that question. I appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
No,
I
you're good.
muted. My bad. So on Facebook, we've got, we are actually going live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. So if you haven't checked out Twitch yet, I personally am a big fan of it. One, because we've got really cool emotes on there. Two, because the quality is simply better. I'm telling you, the caller doesn't get affected. I know every time we go live, we typically are running into issues where, YouTube maybe kind of makes our video look a little bit more bland. It messes with our callers. And I'm noticing that Twitch doesn't do that, and it looks super good on Twitch. So if you have not had a chance to check us out on Twitch, we are also available there, twitch.com/Mevo Camera. You can follow us and use all the really cool stuff. It looks like DJ Mike Marquez has found us on Twitch. He's using the Mevo Start now, the emote there. So if you haven't had a chance to check us out on Twitch, go ahead and do that. But we will continue to go live on YouTube and on Facebook. So let us know what you think of any of the destinations. Let us know what you think of the shows. Let us know what you think of any of these. These shows are specifically made for you. So if we're not touching on a subject you want us to touch on, let us know. We'll make sure that we do that moving forward. So we want to make sure that we are molding our shows and our topics around what you specifically want to learn about and what you want to discuss. So please definitely make sure you chime in with your questions or suggestions or anything. Of course, if you do have any more in-depth technical questions, you can, of course, go to help.mevo.com and you can open up a support ticket. Myself, Joseph, or Will will be more than happy to answer those. So definitely make sure you take advantage of our support, because I don't like to brag, and I know Nate always tells me not to brag about a support because he thinks that it always backfires, but I think we have a really great response time. So I know yesterday our response time was in about 30 minutes. The day before that was at about 10 to 12 minutes. So we really pride ourselves on responding fast and responding with as much information as possible. So give us a try. If you need some help, we're more than happy to do that. Andre on Facebook says, hi from Christina Lake in BC, Canada. Love the Mevos. Thanks for tuning in, Andre. Thank you so much. Mike also says, got me a founder's badge on Twitch. I forgot that's a thing. That is a thing. We've got a founder's badge on there. That's pretty cool. And then on YouTube, Dr.
I like that we're doing good in Canada.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I've seen the market really expand there, and our user base is definitely expanding in Canada a lot more. So, yeah, no, I love to see it as well. And I just love being able to interact with everybody from everywhere. So we've seen people from all over the globe. And hopefully that continues to expand our reach as far as our Mevo fan base and Mevo user base goes, and potential users, hopefully we get to see more and more. Looks like Mark on Facebook, are you thinking of adding transparency to PDF presentations? I don't think it's possible, but I'm not sure. As far as it being on the roadmap, I've not seen it. If it is possible, I'll have to get some clarification from the team. I don't think it's possible personally, but I don't know if that's like an official answer or not. Cool. Awesome. So let's talk about 2.6. So I demonstrated already the wired webcam mode, turning it on and off by pressing a button. Super cool, super easy to just do that. It eliminated like 5 different steps of having to enable that. And then we also bring in NDI 5. And I know like the previous 2.5 release came out with HEVC, which is pretty cool. You know, mixed results on different platforms, different, operating systems. But when it does work, it saves a lot of resources. But NDI 5 brings a lot to the table, and those performance improvements across the board, when they work how they're supposed to. Luckily, we're working with NewTek directly to try to get some of these bugs worked out. But when it does work, it works wonderfully. I've had a great time with NDI, and I think I don't know, are you using NDI now or are you using webcam mode?
So right now I'm using webcam mode, but since we're talking about NDI, another cool feature is just the fact of how I'm getting to you today, right? Like we're being. Let's hold on a second. Am I muted or am I good?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. I heard the sound cut out for a second. My bad. What I was going to say is the fact that we can send my feed from my location to you using NDI, getting that feed into OBS, which is pretty cool. So there's a lot of different avenues and paths you can take when you're using NDI.
Yeah, I mean, I'm using NDI to send my audio and video to you through Skype, and then I'm using NDI into OBS. I use it in the Streamlabs. I use it if we do use Livestream Studio. I use it there as well. I get to use it all over the place, which is super awesome. Looks like we're getting a flood of new comments in YouTube. Providence TV says, "Hi, how can I connect an external microphone to the 3 Mevo at the same time?" So Providence TV, if you are using the Mevo Multicam app, you simply need to connect it to a single Mevo. The audio is not going to change based on your audio destination or source. So if you want to attach a microphone, you just need to attach it to one. Super convenient, super easy, because all you need to do is make sure at least one Mevo is within distance of your audio source. The rest can kind of just go wherever you need to send them.
Yeah, and just be sure that inside the Mevo Multicam app, you just go into your audio mixer, and then you can mute your other sources so you don't have any extraneous sounds coming in from other mic inputs, and just pick the one that you want as your main mic source.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's super useful too. So I just moved into a new home, so I'm gonna probably put Mevo all across my house so I can chase down my dog whenever I want to see where he's at. But with that being said, during the live shows, if I want, I have my audio sent to this Mevo, but I can have a camera and show you the feed from, my basement, attic, living room, bedroom, whatever it may be, right? Wherever I'm trying to hunt my dog down because he's all over the place. But if I wanted to, I don't have to send audio to all of those sources. I can send it to the one right here next to me and not have to worry about, sending it to all those other ones, because that's just a lot of extra cables, a lot of extra points of failure that you're introducing. The name of the game is limiting the points of failure. Less variables, the better. The more things you have control over, the better. So definitely something to think about when you're implementing audio or when you're implementing any type of technology, especially in live streaming. You want to make sure you're limiting what you introduce into the fold to kind of limit the points of failure. So many more comments. So we got Andrew McBride on YouTube. Sorry, bud. You go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
No worries. No worries. I was just messing around there. And I noticed we skipped over one here for Dr. McFarland Studios.
Okay.
If there's a quality difference in the recording versus recording or using webcam to the SD card. So if you're recording to the SD card, you can pick as far as your bit rate to record with. So I think it's up to 50 megabytes per second. When you're using the webcam option, you can't record to the SD card. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Joe. I think that's right?
Yeah, correct.
So they don't work together. But when you are in wireless webcam, you are broadcasting at 1080. So I think that's coming out. Do you know the bit rate for webcam? I think it's just based on your connection, right?
I don't know what the cap is off the top of my head, to be honest. But I do know that you will 100% get better bit rate from recording, because I definitely know webcam mode is not hitting 50. So
right, yeah,
definitely.
So if you're recording like into OBS using the webcam, it'll be based off of just, I guess, whatever your bitrate connection is. It probably won't exceed 10 megabytes per second, honestly. So yeah, if you want like the best quality, do the recording and then just make sure that that's at the highest quality too. And important to note, which brings me to another good point, double check and make sure that your memory card can write at those speeds too. So if you have a memory card that can only write at 30 megabytes per second, you're going to want to set the Mevo to 30 megabytes per second for your recordings.
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge thing, is like, you don't want to select a higher bit rate than your SD card can handle, because most likely you're just going to corrupt a file and you're going to lose all of the footage that you recorded or, that you wanted to save. So you definitely don't want to worry too much about that. You want to make sure that your card, at the very least, I would just go and look for one that hits 50. If you can get one that's at 60 just for that extra buffer, do it. But I wouldn't even bother trying to match it. I would just be like, let me get a card that maxes out what the Mevo can handle. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's just, it's one less variable. There it is, one of those things. Variable is one of my favorite words, I'm telling you. So this is just one of those variables. Like, let's just eliminate tons of them off the bat by just getting a card that can handle what the Mevo can deliver. So definitely something to look at. So Andrew McBride, we have a Mevo Plus for live streaming church service to Facebook, but the video is very blurry. Sorry to hear that, Andrew. There's definitely a lot of different variables, once again, that come into play when it comes to something like that. One is your Mevo too far from your subject. We recommend Mevo being between 5 to 10 feet from the subject, maximum of 15 feet. If I was to give you a maximum, you really don't want to get too crazy with it. The Mevo, even the Plus, so I've got one right here actually. So even the Mevo Plus has a optical zoom, or not optical, digital zoom, not optical zoom. So basically what you're doing is you're taking the pixels that you select in the app and you're stretching it out. So if you try to zoom from too far away, you're going to pixelate and deteriorate the quality right off the bat. So what we recommend is to move your camera as far forward as possible to get the widest frame that you'll ever need. Having it far away and zooming into your widest frame, you're deteriorating your quality. So definitely recommend move it as close as possible for your widest shot and then cut from there. Still recommend that 5 to 10 feet. Up to 15. Also, some other things to think about is your lighting. Is your lighting good? So my room here is pretty dark. I have the lights off, but that's just my ambient lighting. I actually have two Lytra Pro lights here that you can get from Lytra, and those are mounted to the top of my monitors. And then I have some random light bar here to kind of hit my chin, so I don't have some random shadow going on there. It's like Lux CEO. Not too expensive. You can get them on Amazon. But I do have two lights here and then that light here. So, although my ambient lighting is not great, me as the subject, I'm very well lit. So definitely want to make sure you're lighting your subjects appropriately for however you're trying to use it. So something to think about moving forward when it comes to not just the Mevo Plus, but the Mevo Start. Also has a digital zoom opposed to the optical zoom. So you have to think about distance from your subject, lighting on the subject. And of course, there are other things that can come into play. Like, for example, I have my TV behind me, which was previously showing a YouTube video from Mevo. Well, that light was white. So that was blowing out my camera and everything else was looking silly. Luckily, the wallpaper came back on, which looks great, that purple on that purple wall. So now it's no longer blowing out the entire background and affecting how the Mevo adjusts. So something that you take into consideration. Ooh, we have tons of activity today. I'm loving this.
Yeah. And we're getting people from all over. I was just looking on Facebook, and Rick here says he's chiming in from Costa Rica, Central America. We love our Mevo. Any news on PDF presentations being available in the Multicam app? No news on that yet, but that's definitely something that obviously we want to do because we have it in the Mevo 2.0 app. And to follow up on that, I think someone asked another Multicam question, which was going to get the same answer. Let me see. I lost it. But yeah, so the getting the PDF. Oh, the countdowns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so countdowns and PDFs are definitely something that we want to get into the Multicam app, but they're just not there yet.
Oh, yeah, and it looks like DJ Mike Marquez asked on Twitch, can I use my Mevo or he uses his Mevo for the interview show, which, if you were unaware, I was actually on his show at one point doing an interview with him. And he asked, can he use Ndi with StreamYard? I don't know if they allow Ndi, but I know you can absolutely use them with wired and I believe wireless webcam. Let me just Google real quick. StreamYard Ndi. Now, one thing you can do is you can obviously use Nutex, which is Ndi Webcam Input, and I think what do they call it for? What do they call it for Mac? It's not Webcam Input on Mac.
No, it's virtual input on Mac.
Virtual Input. So same concept.
And I'm
Basically, it
on.
takes an NDI
You
source.
can use
and,
NDI video.
Can you?
Yeah, I'm on Streamlabs right now, and it's an option. So.
Wait, no. StreamYard.
I mean, I have StreamYard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that was my mistake. I am on StreamYard, and it says I have my OBS virtual camera out. I have my FaceTime camera, my NDI video, and my Mevo wireless, all as an option in StreamYard. So there you go.
But there is like a small caveat when it comes to using like the virtual input or webcam input. So like for Macs, it limits you at 720. For Windows, I believe it's a 1080 when you're using their virtual input / webcam input. Man, I wish they really had the same name. But so you will see like a 720 to 1080. So if you are going to use a Mac and you're using StreamYard, I just recommend you kind of stick with the wired webcam if you're on Mac, just because two things: you're stuck at the 720 and stability. If you are on a Windows computer like I am right now, you could use wireless, hit up that 1080. And if you're looking for more stability, you can obviously hardwire it with Ethernet as well. So tons of options, tons of great options. Yeah, Mike says he wants to get 1080. So yeah, Mike, if you're using Windows and not Mac, you can absolutely use wireless webcam mode, or you can use virtual input with NDI and get 1080 as well. Wow, lots of stuff going on here on YouTube. What do we got going on here? So DJ Fuzz, hi. Yeah. Just ordered my second start. I think I heard in one of your videos something about a countdown timer. Oh, that's what. Okay, so you addressed that one.
Yep, that's the one I saw. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, so Randy Braun says, I did a wedding recently with 4 Mevo camera, 2 primary and 2 cameras that I swapped in and needed a unique shot. First time using multicam. I enjoyed it. Was very glad to see I could record at a higher resolution than my stream. Yeah, no, we're glad to hear that, Randy. So that's a huge thing about multicam. I'm telling, if you're not using multicam yet, I highly recommend it. I get you can't, if you have some features you can't access, PDF, countdown, but it really does have a lot of flexibility in multicam. That Mevo 2.0, it has it, but it may not be as well, I guess, lined up. I don't know how to put it, right? So like the user interface for multicam, I personally enjoy more than the Mevo 2.0 app, and it really does have a lot more control. So you can record to each individual camera and you can stream, and they're both 2 different resolutions. Of course, you can do that with Mevo 2.0 with a single camera, but it doesn't seem, in my opinion, I like the user interface for that setting specifically for multicam. So if you haven't checked out multicam, I definitely recommend checking it out. And now that I mention it, kind of reminded me, if you are not part of our multicam group on Facebook, go check that out, because Nathan, he's our product manager for multicam, or not for multicam, for Mevo in general. So multicam, Mevo 2.0, whatever it is. He is looking for beta testers. And if you're not part of the multicam group, he is looking for beta testers specifically to test out a couple of functions, to mention landscape mode for multicam. So what was the other one he was looking for? I don't remember what the other specific multicam. I'm trying to pull the group up.
All right. Well, while you look at that, I'll chime into some questions here. So Rick says also crop option without moving the device around on the multicam app. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Rick. Maybe you can give us a little bit more on that, because when you're doing cropping, you're selecting whatever shot, whatever camera you're doing. You're clicking the ellipsis on that camera. You're selecting crop and zoom, and then what should happen on the app is you should get a full frame view of that specific camera shot. And then that's where you can do all your cropping. So you shouldn't have to move the device at all. So I'm not sure what you mean by that one. And then also we have, I'm going to see if I get this right. I'm not going to see if I can get this right. But it says, I love my Mevo, but I broke the ring inside and I have a wobbly connection with my Plus. So it sounds like the mount broke. What I would do is I would open up a ticket with us at help.mevo.com, and we can address that there. Just send us a picture of the broken mount, send us a picture of what's going on so we can take a look at it, and we should be able to do something about that there. And then it says that that was from, I live in Europe, Croatia. Oh, thank you. And thanks in advance. So, I mean, we have Africa, all over Europe, Canada, South America, I mean, we got a pretty widespread show here today, Joe.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it as well. Having everybody everywhere, and I'm looking at the numbers right now, and we almost hit 40 viewers throughout Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So we're pretty well spread out too. It's not like one platform's doing much better than the other. I know Twitch was at like 10 or 12, Facebook's at 10. We've got YouTube, we got 14. So we're doing really good as far as our viewership. We're spread out pretty well. It's awesome. It's Mevo Live is good. We're going places. I'm digging it.
Right.
Okay, so it looks like DJ Fuzz says, after streaming, sometimes at the end of the message, I get that the insert memory card, even though testing prior going to live, the card was working fine, so unable to save to the card. So DJ Fuzz, what I recommend is getting a different SD card. So it sounds like there might be some connection issues between your SD card or your micro SD card and the camera, or the micro SD card may be failing over time. It's not unheard of, especially for some brands. Seem to occur a little bit more in others. I would recommend go grab like a Samsung card or something like that, and get a class 10 card for your if it's a Mevo Start specifically, get a class 10 micro SD card, 50 megabytes per second, writing speed or greater. I just recommend go grabbing a new one and seeing if that problem persists. If it does, then that's something we can definitely check out for your Mevo Start. So sorry that you're experiencing that. That's definitely inconvenient. I could totally see an issue with that. Let's see.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to address Randy Braun says, I checked my recordings from the wedding. Mevo Plus and Mevo Start both recorded at 20 megabytes per second on the camera. The 20 megabytes per second is the default setting for the recording. So you can actually up that if you want to in the Mevo settings in the Mevo app. So you can bump that up to 50 if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing I did want to complete. Oh, geez, I've got YouTube coming through my head. I hear the stream twice. I'm like, why am I hearing him a second time? Okay, so something important to note is that that beta that I was talking about. So you can go sign up for the beta, and what he was specifically looking for was people to check out landscape mode and also to check out the Mevo Access Point onboarding feature. So it basically unlocks your remote production, so it allows you to use what most consumers are used to using, which is Mevo 2.0 using Mevo Hotspot mode. Now there's an onboarding process for beta testers to check out Mevo Hotspot for Multicam, so you can also use your mobile data from your phone opposed to running around with a modem or router. So if you are interested in checking that out, giving us some feedback, having a direct impact on the final release of Mevo Multicam, definitely go check that out. Wow, our chats are just blowing up. Our chats are blowing up.
Yeah, I got one from Facebook here.
Okay.
Michael on Facebook says, so do I want a Mevo system for doing a YouTube channel for my art studio? I want multiple angles with the ability to edit the video. So yes, the short answer would be the Mevo system would be perfect for that application. And the reason why is because if you're using the Multicam app, you can stream directly to YouTube live, but you can also record those angles and edit them later. So what you can do is you can record each individual angle on the Mevo that it's shooting on that actual camera's SD card. So if this is something that you would want to edit after the fact, or you want to just be able to record it, edit it, and then put it out on YouTube, both options are available if you're using the Mevo Multicam app.
Nailed it.
Great.
So we do have a couple more questions on YouTube. Of course, they continue to flow in, which I'm loving. So it looks like Ron says, a little bit outside of your normal questions, but wouldn't it be great if Mevo had an app where it would allow consumers to hook up directly with folks who can offer multi-camera streaming? Yeah, I mean, a directory of multi-cam streamers would be pretty cool. I personally, not specifically for like hiring them, in my opinion, but I think it'd be neat to, capture anybody who's going live with Mevo. If they want to share it, I think it'd be really cool to have a directory of, whether it's like a video on demand or a current live show, having all of those things available. So maybe have users opt in and have like a library of videos that are like automatically populated by other users. So we also have some other things. Let's see what's going on here. It looks like Ron also asked, can you operate with more than 3 cameras with multicam? Not at this time. So it is limited at 3 cameras, whether you have a Mevo First Gen, Mevo Plus, or Mevo Start. but we've tested with more and we've had some success. So who knows where we go in the future, but we've not yet announced that that is coming. I'm just saying we have indeed tested it a little bit on our end with some success, but we've also had some issues with phones getting too hot. So there's some room for some improvement, but it's really difficult to say where we go with that, if we go anywhere. Randy says, let's see. Oh, that was the 20 megabytes per second you had mentioned. Okay, DJ Fuzz was asking about bitrate. What's it improve? It does improve video quality, and yes, the video is going to be significantly larger. So the bitrate number that you're thinking of, the 20 megabytes per second, 50 megabytes per second, that's the data it's writing per second. So 20 megabytes per second and 50 megabytes per second, the 50 is going to be greater than twice the size of the 20. So it's literally what, like it says it in the name, what the speed it's going to be writing at. And that's something you have to take into consideration. But yes, when you take that 50 megabytes per second, the quality will be noticeably different than what you have if you set it at 20. Or can you set it lower in recording, or is it default 20? Can you go lower?
It's default 20, and yeah, you can go lower.
Okay, so if you set it to the bare minimum bit rate for recording and then go to 50 and then put that footage side by side, I might actually do that later because I'm kind of curious myself to see that, and maybe that's something we can put in our article. I think that'd be useful for users. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do that
you
later.
Can go as low as. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I'll do that later and see if we can get post videos side by side so everybody can see specifically the difference in bitrate quality. They used to do that right when they were going from 1080 to 4K. You would go into the stores and they would show the video on the TV, and it would have that little slider. And it would say, this is the difference. You would see like a horse or a car going from 1080 and it drives into the 4K. And you can see the quality difference. Maybe we can try something similar with the bitrate difference so everybody can see that. It's not for everybody, but if you're looking for the greatest quality, and it certainly is better overall.
Yeah, and the lowest you can go is 1.2. So 1.2 megabytes per second, which is honestly extremely low. But if your system or your tablet can't handle recording at that speed, or if your memory card can't handle recording speed, you have those options to go down. So that's cool.
Awesome. Looks like we've
got a lot going on.
Yeah, we do. I see DJ Mike back in Twitch again. Okay, so he says, last question for him on the Mevo mic app. Is there latency and does it need crazy bandwidth? The reason I ask is for my remote streams, I would like the audio to go to my phone with the mic app and still control the Mevo on a regular app, separate Android phone, so I can move the camera freely, but not have sync issues. So, Mike, you don't have to worry about that. The Mevo mic app and the Mevo footage are going to be in sync. I've never seen an instance, at least since Mevo mic app has been publicly released, I've never seen an instance where it's been out of sync. So you can do that without worrying about that. You should be good to go as far as latency. It's simply in sync. It's just like Multicam. They use similar ways of syncing audio and video. And that's why we, even when it comes to NDI, we recommend, using the Mevo apps because we're very familiar and very confident that the audio and video will be in sync, whether it's Mevo mic app, Mevo Multicam, Mevo 2.0, whatever it may be. You can trust that the audio and video will be in sync as long as you're using Mevo products.
Yeah, and you got to think of it this way: the remote mic app is coming into you're setting that up through the Mevo 2.0 app. So the Mevo is being configured in the Mevo before it even hits the Multicam app. So you're getting a synced signal to your Multicam app. So you shouldn't have to worry about sync on that.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I definitely missed that. So if you've never used it before, the Mevo mic app is literally sending the audio and the timestamp to the Mevo 2.0 app. The Mevo 2.0 app is taking that timestamp from the video and the audio and making sure they're in sync. So the app's handling it all for you. It just, once again, as long as you stay within the Mevo ecosystem, you should be good to go. So if your audio, even if you're, for example, using this blue microphone, and you send it to an audio mixer and you send that into the Mevo mic app, you can absolutely still send that audio. Now, if you send that mixer to a computer and then the Mevo via NDI to the computer, could run into some audio syncing issues because they're going to arrive at two separate times and those two systems are not communicating. Now, that's why we recommend when you're sending and using audio from external sources to use a Mevo application, whether Mevo 2.0, whether Mevo Start 3.5, Mevo Start USB, Mevo Boost USB, whatever it may be, send your audio to a Mevo platform and within the Mevo ecosystem, and those applications will ensure that the final program out will be in sync for you. Oh, no problem, Mike. I see his little emojis. I love Twitch. It's a lot more lively. You get to use cool emojis. It's so much more fun. It's a lot more exciting. Oh, let's see here.
All right.
So where did we leave off on Facebook?
So I was literally just looking at it. That's so funny. So there's some discussion about the crop and zoom and multicam. So when you do select the option to do crop and zoom and multicam, it's gonna go into landscape on the tablet or phone, because that's what the shot is at, right? So it's a 16:9 ratio. So it's gonna fill that space out. So you could crop more precisely, honestly. So you're not gonna have the vertical look, or I guess the portrait version to do crop and zoom, because you're not getting enough real estate to really mess around with your crops and zooms. So that's the reason for that.
I haven't messed with the new landscape tablet mode in crop and zoom. So I mean, I assume you don't need to rotate it, right? Because it's already landscape.
Well, because everything's landscape. So I think that's kind of to the user's point, where it's like they don't want to be moving their device around. Maybe their device is on a stand or something. They want to leave it there. It all depends on your situation for that and preference, but that would be a reason to keep it in landscape, is so you don't have to touch it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's I would go recommend checking that out. That was Rick, right? Yeah, Rick. So Rick, I would go check out the beta. That will put you in landscape mode for the entire layout, and then when you do switch, crop, whatever, pan, PTZ functions, that'll also be in landscape. So I would go check out the beta and see what you think. We would love the feedback. And then you want to rotate, right? It's constantly in landscape.
Yeah, cool. And that's one of those things where it's such a personal preference as far as how you're using the device. So us getting that feedback is super important, just so we can kind of see, which way the pendulum swings on that, because some people, might want to keep it this way. Me personally, I think landscape is the way to go. I think you just get more real estate. It's easier to hold, especially on tablets. Most mounts, if you just kind of place them down, it just kind of looks better, in my opinion. It's a little more aesthetic. So definitely give that a try.
Yeah, definitely. So DJ Fuzz on YouTube says, I think you missed this question. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Also, multicam, does the bitrate have to be the same on all cameras? No. Right? No. You can configure each individual camera. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, but I think let me double check. I'm gonna double check right now, because I think the overall recording bitrate might be the same.
So for writing to the mobile device, right? When you're doing it to your mobile device, whether it's an iPad, phone, whatever it is, then that obviously you have one setting. But I'm pretty sure. You might be right. I'm looking at it right now, and you have to set the quality for. It looks like all of them. It does.
Yeah, I think it's an overall recording setting.
And if you guys are wondering what I'm looking at right now, I am in the Help Center. I help.mevo.com. I get to look at all of our wonderful articles. So if I don't know things, I definitely use our Help Center. So if you have a question, you can almost always find the answer in the Help Center. It covers every function and every feature. So if you go to help.mevo.com, type in Mevo Multicam, it'll take you to a section with all of the multicam articles. And this one specifically shows, it's got supporting documents and media. It talks about ISO recording. It talks about changing the quality and tons of really cool stuff. So if you have a question, you should go to help.mevo.com. Of course, we are happy to help at help.mevo.com with tickets. But if you are unaware, if you want to know where I get my answers when you all ask me and I'm unsure, I also reference help.mevo.com. So I highly recommend. It's a wonderful resource to get all of the answers you could possibly want.
Yeah. So looking through the multicam app, just in that section. So yes, if you pick the 1080p quality, that's going to be for all of the devices. If you are using a Mevo Plus as part of your setup, as part of one of your cameras, the Mevo Plus does not support configuring quality and will always match the selected input quality. Meaning, so whatever your input quality is for your streaming, the Mevo Plus will record that. That's where it'll get its information from as far as what to record. So just a little caveat on the Plus. But other than that, yeah, you're setting the same quality for all your recordings, which does make sense too. Because if you're doing a post edit, you don't want to have, one of your angles super high quality, one of your angles low quality. You know what I mean? You want to match that, especially if you're trying to match shots and you start doing, getting further into edits where you're, if you're using, if you're doing color editing, if you're using LUTs, if you're doing anything like that, you're going to want to make sure that those qualities are the same.
Absolutely. So it looks like Ben Beckner is in YouTube. So did I miss something? Is there a beta for Multicam? I joined a little late today. Well, we won't hold that against you, Ben. Thanks for tuning in. So yes, there is a beta for Multicam. We are looking for users to test landscape mode for Multicam for the tablet specifically. On phone, it's still portrait. But if you have a tablet and you want to test out landscape mode, you can take advantage of that. And it also has a new onboarding functionality that allows you to use Mevo Hotspot and allows you to take your 3 cameras on the go and stream from any location. So you may start noticing on our Tuesday shows, we're going to be a little bit more mobile using Mevo Multicam, using Mevo 2.0. We're going to start showing you and how flexible they are and take you to a bunch of really cool different destinations all across New Jersey, across New York, whether we're in Times Square. We're going to get creative. So if you have a specific use case you want to see one of our live shows in, let us know, and we'd be happy to try to make it work and fit into the schedule. So definitely tune in on our Tuesday shows if you want to see how flexible our Mevo ecosystem really can be. Whew. Yeah, I think we're slowing down. Be fun. Well, it looks like we are already at the 42-minute mark. 43-minute mark. So before we go ahead and wrap up, I want to go ahead and make sure we cover all of the other things we haven't got to cover yet. So we still have...
Yeah, maybe we should mention the... Hey, Joe, do we have any good referral programs to talk about?
Yeah, I'll hit that. Right now, I'm going to talk about the Mevo Start 3-pack. You can find that at mevo.com. We are currently in stock and shipping. We are going into a weekend, so if you do order towards the end of the week, you'll probably start seeing it shipped by the beginning of next week. But you can take advantage of the Mevo Start 3-pack at mevo.com. You can find them also on I believe Amazon, Best Buy, Adorama, B&H, all of our partners are all carrying Mevo 3-packs. Now, these are going fast, so don't be surprised if you notice that they are not available at your local Best Buy or something. Definitely check their websites to see their current availability. But if they are not in stock, you can 100% get those at mevo.com. For the US-based customers, we can supply those at least. We also, as Joseph mentioned, have the referral program. So what is the referral program? Joseph, what is it?
Oh, you're kicking it to me. All right. Yeah. I didn't realize that was my cue. My apologies.
Sorry about that.
Oh, man. Well, Joe, the referral program is a great program we have going on right now where if you are a Mevo customer, you can go to mevo.com/referral or mevo.com/refer. You can get yourself your own basically coupon code, and you can save your friends 5% on their Mevo purchases. You can also earn a 5% commission on your end as well. So if you are a Mevo user and you're showing your friends this great camera and all the cool stuff it can do, they want to get involved, hook them up with a little bit of a discount, and then you can get a little kickback on your end as well. So that's mevo.com/referral or mevo.com/refer.
And very important, U.S. customers only. But I don't know, and I always say stuff about this.
I always forget that.
No, you're good. You're totally fine. So I always do say something about the referral program is you get these custom coupon codes. So like you get to customize them. I don't know if anybody's been part of affiliate programs or referral programs or whatever it may be, partnerships. Typically they're auto-generated. So it'd be like Mevo Dash or Mevo Seller Dash and like random generated numbers. I don't know about you guys, but I don't typically try to use things like that just because it just seems kind of sketchy. So with things like the Mevo custom coupon codes with the Mevo referral program, you have the trust and it looks like you have a true partnership with Mevo and you really get to take advantage of it. And a lot of users trust those a little bit more. I know I do when it comes to using coupon codes and discount codes. So definitely go in there, name it after your YouTube channel, Twitch channel, your organization, your business, whatever it may be. Take advantage of the referral program and earn you a kickback and save your friends or affiliates or whoever it may be, your acquaintances, some money in the progress. So for today's show, we did cover a lot about the Mevo Camera 2.6 update This is for the Mevo 2.0 app or Mevo app if you're on, I believe, Android. It's just Mevo app. But for iOS users, it's Mevo 2.0. So this, as we talked about, did improve some general performance for Ndi. It did have the webcam mode quick switch, so hopefully you all enjoy those changes. Ensure that you get the updates from your app store. Highly recommend that you turn on auto update for your app store, whether it's iOS or Apple or the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Turn on auto update. I'm telling you, it'll save you some headache. Because if there was like an issue or an error or something, we release something and then we have to quickly release another one, you probably won't expect another update to go check right after you just updated. So turn on auto update in the App Store to make sure that any changes that we make, you're getting them right away. So thank you all for tuning in. It looks like our questions are starting to wrap up just a little bit. I do want to say I do want to cover these last two questions. So Ben Beckner says, where do I get the beta? Where do I get the beta? So Ben Beckner, you can go to the Mevo customer group on Facebook, or you can go to the Mevo Multicam group on Facebook, and both of them have those links readily available for you to use. As far as using the beta, yeah, you just have to sign up, and you have direct access. So there's like no approval process or anything crazy like that. You get it right away. DJ Fuzz says that it'd be really great if you guys can make the preview a higher resolution. 480 720, really hard to get the color adjustments right in 720 or 240.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I completely agree. So the thing is, like, we have a higher. You know what? I actually recommend for the time being, at least, use Mevo Multicam, because Mevo Multicam is using your phone as a resource, and it's processing all of that data. So I would recommend using Multicam if you're looking for a higher preview. I don't know if the reason we don't do the higher preview for the Mevo 2.0 is because the Mevo does all of the rendering and all of the processing and encoding. Maybe it can't handle that. I'm not sure. But if we can do it for Multicam and the Mevo's not the bottleneck, I agree. I think that the Mevo 2.0 should have a higher quality preview as well. And maybe that's something we, let users do. Like maybe that's a toggle, right? Maybe it's one more setting. What's one more setting, right? Yeah. Maybe we say you want a higher preview. You can set it. If you notice your network can't handle it or you really don't need it, lower it. At least for adjustments too, right? If you want to just do an adjustment, would be really cool. And I'm just I'm stretching this out a little bit more probably than I need to. But
throwing out ideas.
Yeah. So, but when you open up image adjustments, maybe that's when the quality bumps up, and then when you close image adjustments, it goes back down. Like that's when you need to see the higher quality preview.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So
yeah, because when I asked about this a while ago, and really the issue was just the latency. As far as like, it was annoying, and like, so think about this as a user experience, right? You're on your app and you make a change, and then it just changes just a half a second later.
Yeah.
But like doing that over and over it's annoying.
It really is
annoying. So
I agree.
Having the adjustments happen in a little bit more of a real time is a sacrifice for the quality, right? So if you could bump the quality up, you're making your camera work harder, you're making your phone work harder, and there's other ways to look at it. I mean, in the Mevo 2.0 app, you have the output that if you just tap the output screen, that gets bigger, so you can see that, and that's a better quality as well. That getting bigger would be cool. If we can like double tap that and have that blow up a little bit, that might be cool too.
Yeah.
But I could tell you right now, if there's no more annoying thing, especially if you're in the tech field or if you're using tablets or any type of touchscreen, if you touching something and nothing happening, or right?
Oh like yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's annoying. So I'm sure that was one of the main reasons for making it the lower resolution, just to make it move faster.
That makes sense. I'll tell you what, DJ Fuzz, we will have this discussion, I'm sure, internally. So I promise we are not just going to leave today's show and not bring this up. We will have the conversation this coming week and see what we can do, whether it's a higher quality and then just have users understand that it will be a little bit more latency. But we'll at the very least have the discussion of possibilities for the preview. So, well, it seems like that's it for us today. It looks like our questions, we've covered them all. DJ Fuzz says great ideas, Joseph. So seems like you've got. It seems like we're on the right path. So we will have that conversation. So thank you all for tuning in today. Make sure you tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're looking for the latest information from the Mevo ecosystem or the Mevo whatever it may be, right? The Mevo team, you want the latest and greatest, the Mevoverse. Any information you're looking for, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, all of those great and wonderful things. That way you're notified immediately. So from Joseph and I, we will see you, or at least I think one of us probably will see you on Tuesday, 2 p.m. See you guys.